What's going on, y'all? My name is K9. I am a full-time day trader slash mentor. Um, I'm making this video mainly because some of my students were telling me, hey, you should make a video, YouTube video helping people how to trade or, showing your strategy, make it simple, make it quick. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today, right? So I'm gonna show you guys strategy in a simple format. So basically, right, I'm a trend trader, so I trade with trend. Wherever trend is going, that is where my setups are going unless I see something different, right? So I'm gonna go over. We'll actually look at today first, right? So actually, I will show you the setup first, and then we'll look at today. So boom, there's a downtrend, right? Now, in order for me to take it's all I'm trading is market structure. So in order for me to take a buy off of a breakup trend line would be something like this. Price is going downwards, price breaks the trend line, price breaks out. Price needs to break a higher low, right? A higher low, this is a higher low right here. Price is going down, so it created a higher low. Price needs to break the trend line and break that higher low, right? This is a change of character, right? So what actually has to happen from here is either I enter or I wait for a pullback. Now, a lot of the times, if price breaks out too far, there will be a pullback. Now, what I mean by too far is sometimes price will break out something like this, to where price breaks out a little bit and pulls back slightly to that area and continues, right? I usually just wait for pullback. So there will be a pullback and then you enter, right? Sometimes there won't be a pullback. And that if there's no pullback, then you would have to wait for another entry to trade in that direction, right? So boom, there's a pullback, you enter, your stop is, I would say, stops recent low. So something like that, or something, or the swing low, and then your stop loss, your take profit at a certain point, or you have a set risk to reward ratio, right? Whatever you aim for, um those, within your risk rules, that's what you got to do, right? A lot of people overcomplicate trading and make trading more complicated than it actually is. Trading is not complicated. It's not really, it's mainly just your psychology, is that's the hardest part with trading. And once you like I always tell people, once you back test and put in that work, you'll see that it'll become a lot easier for you. And once you lighten the load off yourself by making trading a lot simpler, and making the setups that you go for simple. I've tried so many strategies, they all work. Everything works. It's just your psychology and your brain that has to understand that they work. They all work. And it's not the strategy in trading, it's really you, right? So you have to hone your abilities, because everybody has the skill set to trade. Everybody, right? You just have to hone your ability to trade and actually, you know, take advantage of your skill sets that you have, because everybody has the skill sets to trade, right? Well, majority of people, unless you're blind, right? So here's the thing with these setups. Now, this setup right here specifically is not within the trend, but the reason why I took this setup, well, I didn't take this setup. The reason why I marked this setup, one of my students actually took this setup, and I'll actually show you within our Discord. It's right. Let me pull it up right here. So this is the exact setup he took, and it was a break of trend line, right? So price broke, pulled back, which is this pullback here. He entered on the pullback, right? Well, here. I would have entered up here, but he entered on the pullback, put his stops up there, and take profit was down there, right there at that next level. Price hit his he went for a 1 to 4, price hit his take profit, boom, all good, right? Now he could have aimed for a lot more, so he could have aimed for a possible um this was his exact setup, so I'll do something like this to replicate it. Stops was somewhere around there, and then take profit was something like this, right? So this is his setup, like a 1 to 4, something like that. He could have possibly aimed for a 1 to 8, to this next zone down here. But yeah, that was his trade. Amazing trade. That was an A+ setup on his part, right? So basically, there's a resistance up here, right? There's resistance up here. Price did come to tap into this resistance and rejected, right? Powell spoke today, so that's a high impact reason why price did drop. But Powell spoke today. Price did drop, but Powell spoke. It was the 930 candlestick, which went bullish, surprising a lot of people because they thought price was just gonna fully drop. It went bullish, and the reason it went bullish, tapped in up here, and then went bearish, right? So from there, we see our rejection area. This could have been an area for entry, right? Because we have our trend line. We know the overall direction now where price is going to go, which is down. Boom, we enter. Could have possibly entered here, hopped in here. I wasn't home, so the trade I took was on Nas. It was this trade. It was a trend line trade. Very simple. My entry, something like this. Stop loss up here, or take profit up here. Stop loss down here. Let me find the actual setup. Uh, there it goes. All right. So this is the actual setup I took. Um, let's see. Yep, right here. This is US 30. Buy right here on US 30. Take profit up at the resistance. Stop loss that low. NAS 100 right there. Enter. Take profit. Stop loss that low. Right. Um. So that was my setup for NAS and US 30 for the day. I usually trade from 6 to 12 p.m. So those are between the times that I usually trade. After that, I just do some back testing and I just chill out for the rest of the day, right? Um so yeah, that's that for that setup. If we go over here, right? We're on an uptrend. Um yeah, so we're on an uptrend. We have a trend line set up, right? And we want to trade with the trend. So boom, we broke trend line, came back to retest that low that it broke, or that high that it broke, and boom, we took price upwards, right? Could have possibly held this for a lot more, but you know, still good enough. Um, Same thing here, downward trend line, boom, broke, retest, hop in, take the trade up. Stop loss that low. This is a little bit different. So basically, what happens is price actually broke outside. So price broke outside of the London high. Price broke the London high, and if you actually zoom in, you see price rejected, pullback, and these are areas that we want to see. So areas like this where price goes, right? You have a bullish, you have one bearish candle, right, or maybe a couple bearish candles. It doesn't matter, but you want to see something where price, something like this, right? And that's what happens here. Price goes up, price slightly pulls back and breaks and then goes to the upside. So this would be something of an entry, right? Now, if you don't get this entry, um, well, you have this entry. You have a pullback. A lot of times, price will pull back to that area that it broke out, which is there. Enter off the pullback. Stop loss potentially lows. I'll put my stop loss something like that. Then take profit depending on what you aim for, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. I usually aim for, most of my trades are ranging from 1 to 5 to 1 to 10s. Um, I usually tell my students to just like start small and then gradually, as you progress, like from going from 1 to 3s. I usually don't go anything below 1 to 3s. 1 to 2s are good, but they're just not as rewarding, and you can aim for more. So why not, right? Um, 1 to 3s and 1 to 4s is where I recommend. 1 to 5s, you start to get like those are where you really kind of have to get the better entries, but they're still highly profitable or highly attainable, right? All of this is attainable. Um, Uptrend, downward trend line, price broke out. Price came down to retest a little bit. You hopped in, stop loss at the lows, and you took price up, right? Same thing. Um, this is a little bit different. Market's kind of moving a little bit sideways here, but you're still on a slight uptrend. Um, what we did have resistance. I just killed a fly. We did have resistance at the top. So we had resistance up here. Price taps into our resistance, broke, Um, and it actually broke this recent low right here. Um, this higher low broke, retest, enter, stop loss above, take profit down, right? And then there's a trend line going upwards. So what do? You utilize that trend line, and usually there's gonna be a bounce. A big some you can kind of tell when the trend lines are gonna be is it'll be a trend line bounce, and then it'll be if you see price consistently, bouncing off of a trend line and it's kind of going on an upslope, and prices been going downwards, there might be a shift in the market, and the shift will happen around here. So you see something like this where we have the highs here, up here. Price breaks, comes down, rejects, boom, volatile push, right? We have a rejection here, and then price comes here and breaks. This is a full change of character, and we're now going to the upside, right? This is a full shift of the market, and now we're going up. So from here, boom, we have the uptrend, right? Now we start looking for more buy positions and utilize buys, right? We don't trade Mondays, so at least I don't trade Mondays, and I trade from, like I said, I trade from. I don't know if I did say it, but I trade from 6 to 12, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Majority of these setups, I don't really like the whole thing about waiting till 9:30. It's kind of like, why would I wait till 9:30? It's just making me miss out on setups. Like these setups are really easy to see, really simple. And yeah, you just trade with the trend. Now the biggest part about it is not even just your strategy. The biggest part about trading, it's mainly your risk to reward ratio, and trading based off percentages, right? I do not trade based off money. And what I mean by that is I don't just look at money and be like, okay, I just made like $1,000 today, or I'm in $1,000 profit on a 100K account. That's only 1%. I'm not aiming for 1%. I'm aiming for 3%. Going for so if I go for a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, and I'm in 3K profit, right? Or I'm in 1K profit, I still have 2K profit to go, right? So I know exactly how much I'm risking because I know not only should you, if you do not use a position size calculator, you should know your lot sizes. So when you put in your positions, you should kind of already know how much you're risking, right? And then once you understand that, you know how much you're risking. So I trade based off percentages. And that's why I try to get people to understand is that trading a lot of people don't look at trading as a percentage game. And when you look at trading like a percentage game, it makes things a whole bunch easier, because now not only are you better managing risk, but um you're also better understanding of losing profit, making profit. You know what I'm saying? Like you know that you lose one trade and you won't be flustered about it because you know that you just lost 1% of your account if you're properly risk managing. And then that win would be 3% added onto your account, or 4% added onto your account depending on what your risk to reward ratio is. So let's say for instance, right? I have a funded account of 200K, right? Um and I'm risking 1% per trade, and I'm going for 1 to 4 risk to reward ratios. That means that overall, it doesn't matter if I have a 30% win rate, I will be overall profitable, right? And that's the thing about trading, is that your win rate really doesn't matter too much. Like it gets to the point where, okay, if you lose every single trade, then it'll matter, right? But if you're a person that consistently can have a 30 to 40% win rate, you just have to make sure that your wins are rewarding enough to to combat your losses, right? So if I were to lose 10 trades and I were to win only 3 trades, and I went for a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio, I would be overall profitable, right? Because out of those 10 trades, I'll be losing 7 RR. But if I lose 7 times, but then out of those 3 trades I win, that's 12 RR in total, which makes it, you know, you overall profitable by what, 5 RR. So it makes it may when you put it into perspective, you'll be overall profitable if you just aim for, if you have a set risk to a ratio, you let your winners win, you let your losers lose, and you know, you just continue to keep trading consistently. All it is consistency. Consistency has nothing to do with win rate, and I want people to understand that is that consistency is not your win rate. Consistency is how much you follow your trading plan and you follow your rule sets, and you let your winners win and your losers lose. That's all it is, right? That's all consistency is within trading. Consistency is not win rate, because if you sit there and have like win rate sitting in your head and you think that your win rate is your consistency, then it would be easier for you to fail, because now you just think that you have to keep changing your strategy. You have to find a strategy with a higher win rate. You maybe it's this and that. You're gonna overcomplicate things when it should not be overcomplicated, right? Everything is very simple and everything should be just kept simple. Um, right. So with there's a whole bunch of strategies out there. Whatever strategy you do have, I'm not trying to convince anyone to use my strategy. If you use it, use it. I have like a 70, um I would say like a 78% win rate with my strategy, right? But it doesn't matter, right? Because I'm not really looking at my win rate. I'm looking at my risk to reward ratio and the percentage. Um I trade just off numbers. So even though your win rate does matter, it's not really about your win rate. It's just all about how much you're risking, and how much your risk to reward ratio is. And the thing is, a lot of people, that need money, they when they start trading, they're looking like, okay, I'm this much in profit. This can do this. This can do this. Yes, you're that much in profit, but if you let's say you take that profit, right? You take that profit, and then the next trade you take, because you close that trade out early, right? Instead of hitting a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 RR or even higher, whatever you wanted to aim for, you closed out early because you seen this and that profit, and then the next trade you just lost that profit because you in your head you think that that profit is good enough for you, but it's not. That's not really it. You're not letting your full take profit hit. So when your win rate comes out, you might have a 70% win rate and not be profitable because your losses are more than your wins. Because when you lose, you fully lose, or you might close out early before you lose, and then your winners, you're just completely, when you're in drawdown, you close because you think and the trade might reverse and go to hit your TP, but you already closed out your trade. It's those things um that stop people from overall becoming profitable. So once you're able to just very make it very simple, understand trend, understand that you're just trading with the trend. If there's an uptrend, let's say for instance, I'll put an example. I'll take a buy every single time at 8 o'clock. I would have lost that day. I would have won this day. Boom, 8 o'clock, take a buy, put my stops below. I would have won this day. 8 o'clock, take a buy, put my stops below. I would have won this day. 8 o'clock, take a buy, put my stops below. Right? It's very simple, right? Same thing. Take a buy, put my stops below. It's very simple. You here, take a buy, put my stops below. It's just trend trading. And I wouldn't trade like that because sometimes you would actually start losing a good amount, but it's just trend trading. So all you need to do is figure out what the trend is and trade in that direction. And then when you trade in that direction, your buys you're able to possibly hold for even longer because you're trading with the trend. So you don't really have to worry about the price reversing on you because you're trading in the direction price is going. So the price is probably going to continue going in that area, and that's why I kind of figured out a strategy to where I can get in way earlier, to where I get in and I'm getting in right, but I'm getting in where the reversal happens. So, or where that continuation of trend happens. So, boom, there's a slope down, boom. So it's something like this. Price goes up, price goes down, price goes back up. It's very simple. That's all that's kind of how I trade. There's different ways to how I trade that I do teach, but this is just a simpler version. Very simple. Um, and yeah, right. So it's set up trend line break, retest, break, the trend line going upwards, resistance or support, boom, just take that buy. You don't have to think twice about it because it's either you win or you lose. And it's just a thing where when you once if you just overthink it and you just keep thinking about it, you keep thinking about it, then it's gonna become a lot harder for you to become successful within trading because you're overthinking. Just don't overthink it. Just go. Just do it. And yep, that's it. And I hope everybody achieves what they want to achieve and get consistent gains and becomes consistently profitable because it's I'm not gonna say sit here and say it's that easy, but it can be if you want it to be, right? So, yep. All right, y'all.